You got to be really honest with this.
Okay.
How long does it take you to choose what to watch in Netflix?
I would say for me, about 80% of the time I'm watching shows that are being in process. So I'm watching cuts and everything else. So I hardly ever sit down in front of the TV without having a very strong idea of what I'm going to watch. So
Okay.
but watching my wife, about 8 minutes.
Okay.
I timed her.
Who's your favorite Mexican film director?
So instead of picking one, because I can't, I'll tell you one thing that's why what strikes me as under-celebrated about Mexican film. If you look, anyone who studies film, anyone who loves film, probably knows about these different movements throughout history. So like after World War II, the kind of neo-realism from the Italian cinema, and all these great directors who emerged from that, Antonioni, Fellini, all these guys who made incredible movies, right? And then that lasted till the kind of into the 60s, and then into the 60s, the French New Wave. And we know all those directors, right? And we know what they, who came out of the French New Wave, Godard and Agnes Varda, and all these incredible directors that came out of that period. And we know these things even by name. And then, then in the 70s and 80s, these kind of maverick American film directors emerge.
Yeah.
And then the Sundance-fueled American independent thing kind of from the 80s to the 90s, where you get the Quentin Tarantino and P.T. Anderson and all these guys. And we know of that period really well. But hardly anyone talks about this year, 2000, 2001, where Guillermo del Toro, Alfonso Cuarón, and Alejandro Inarritu release Devil's Backbone, Et tu mama temían, and Amores Perros.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movies, all at the same time, start this entire movement of Mexican filmmaking. And these great creators and craftsmen that come out of that, like Chivo and Rodrigo Prieto, that again, they define movies as they're made today. And what those three directors did, that they don't really get enough credit for, is unlike all the other guys I mentioned earlier, all the directors of the neo-realism movement in Italy, Dogma 95 from Denmark, all those phenomenal movements of film, those three directors, Guillermo was a great friend. I've had the luxury of working with all three of these amazing directors. Wow. And that they also then moved to the Hollywood system and make movies for the world in English, and to huge critical acclaim and huge box office success. I mean, Fellini is an amazing director. He never did that. So this is a very unique to Mexican cinema, that it is transcended into world cinema. And then Alejandro and Alfonso still make movies, sometimes in Spanish, sometimes in English, and really define the craft and the art itself. Yeah. And that happened in Mexico, and it is an under-celebrated film movement. So if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be between the three amigos. But
do you know telenovelas, and is it a format that would be successful in Netflix?
I do. I know novelas obviously from when we entered the marketplace in Mexico. You better learn about novelas.
Yeah.
And we have many of them on Netflix. The Surrogacy, certainly. Who Killed Sarah? Mm-hmm. Right now, Unspeakable Sins is something that's on right now. And our model for that are slightly somewhere between the super series model and the classic novella model. So 15 to 20 episodes, very rich production value, and the only thing that we don't do necessarily is the daily drop, which we experiment with release patterns all the time. So, but I'd say we definitely know novellas, and I think our version of them I think are really pleasing audiences around the world.
Do you feel that Narco series damaged the image of Mexico or Latin America?
No, I think it's a part of the tapestry of storytelling of Latin America and of Mexico. It's certainly not a one-dimensional country or one-dimensional culture, but it's certainly undeniably part of the culture for sure. It is definitely stories. We did, like I said earlier, we didn't introduce the world to Pablo Escobar.
Correct.
And I think that people are interested in these stories, like the way they have been about Bonnie and Clyde and Billy the Kid.
What Mexican tradition, sport, or activity do you like the most? And would you do content for that in Netflix?
Well, I think we are. I mean, look, boxing I know is a very
Yeah.
important part of sports, Mexican sports culture. We have the Canelo Crawford fight coming up in September we're really excited about it. And why we're excited about it is we're able to bring this fight to our 300 plus million subscriber households outside of the pay-per-view model and make it available to all of our members all over the world at the same time to watch it live. So we're super thrilled. And it's the first time we've done dual live streams in multiple languages, so the Mexican stream will be different than the stream for the rest of the world. So we're really excited about that. And I would say the other one, by the way, does this count as culture?
Yeah.
Mexican food? Because I think that I am obsessed with really great Mexican food. I always have been. I was born on the East Coast, but I was raised in the West. So for me, the kind of constant hunt for the variants of great Mexican food, like in Mexico City, I think Maximo and Rosetta are probably two of the greatest restaurants in the world. But we did a show called The Taco Chronicles that kind of captured this. So yes, we do produce those things.
What was the last film that you watched on Netflix? Film or series?
Well, K-pop Demon Hunters was phenomenal. Okay. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it outside of work, but I did. It was it's a great musical. I watched, of course, Happy Gilmore too. Great hit for us right now. Counterattack, great from Mexico, great action movie. Yeah. Some of the greatest action sequences I've seen this year.
How long did your last binge watching lasted? How long did your last marathon watching Netflix lasted?
So I wind up for me, it's almost impossible to binge our Netflix shows because I'm watching them as they're coming in. So unfortunately, I'm watching them one at a time. But every once in a while, the one that my wife is really excited to watch, and we'll jump into it. And like a show like Nobody Wants This, we watched the entire season in 3 sittings. So it's pretty common. My longest binge ever, I think, was I realized I had never watched Mad Men while it was on. Like I watched an episode here and there, but I never really got into the show. And a couple of years ago, I watched the entire run of Mad Men in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And it was great.
How do you feel by participating in a series from another streaming platform, in this case, Apple TV and the studio?
Well, I was thrilled to do it for Seth. Seth Rogen sent me the script. And he said, if you think this joke is funny, I'd love you to do it. And if you can't, I understand. And I'm going to take it out if you don't want to do it. And I said, no, this is really fun. I love the joke. I love Seth, and I love the show, so it was fun to do. So if you skip to episode 8 and just see my work.
Last question: has the message "Are you still watching?" has ever appeared to your TV?
It does all the time.
How do you feel about it?
Because I have some very long watching sessions. I like the idea that someone's keeping an eye on me.
Thank you so much, Ted, for your time.
Thanks a lot.
It was a great pleasure. Thanks a lot.